When the Farren Care Center closed in 2020, many of those in Franklin County were devastated. The former acute and long-term care facility provided care to countless patients and was an employer to many nurses, doctors, and other staff as well for over a century. One nearby Catholic parish wanted to ensure that the center and the Sisters of Providence would never be forgotten. Steve Kiltonic has the story now of the Farren Care Memorial.
In the late 1800s, Bernard Farren was a well-known industrialist and civil engineer. After his son Frank died of tuberculosis, Farren resolved to give back to the community something in his memory that would outlast his grief. That gift became Farren Memorial Hospital in Montague City. With Springfield Bishop Thomas Bevan in attendance, the hospital was dedicated on October 23, 1900. Farren mandated its doors be open to all people, regardless of wealth, creed, or religion. For many of the Irish, Polish, and French Canadian immigrants who came to Montague to work the mills, there were few options when it came to health care. When Farren Hospital was built, it became a beacon of hope, and it was the Sisters of Providence who provided the compassionate care many were seeking. Farren Memorial Hospital was a marvel of progress for its time. It featured hydraulic elevators for patients, electric lighting and plumbing, ventilating shafts for clean air, an operating theater, and a chapel with plumbing for water that was untouched by ordinary pipes. Farren, a Catholic, remained involved in the hospital as vice president and guiding hand until his death in 1910. In 1988, Farren closed as an acute care facility, but reopened in 1990 as the Farren Care Center, specializing in long-term rehab for complex medical and psychiatric needs. But unable to meet modern healthcare standards, Farren Care Center closed in 2020 after 120 years of service. 3 years later, demolition began, and by July 2023, 2 stone crosses at the entrance were the only physical remnants left standing. However, today its legacy lives on in those who were patients, visitors, employees, or volunteers. Father Stanley X. Summit has fond memories of Farren.
I was born at the Farren. Members of my family and I were treated at the Farren. I had relatives that died at the Farren.
Father Stan recalls visiting his mother at Farren as a boy when she had pancreatitis.
That was a very difficult thing for her to recover from. And again, I saw the firsthand care that she got, not only physically and medically, but psychologically and in terms of support. Just a very special kind of care that took care of the whole person, which I think made the place so special and unique.
When Farren was being torn down, a member of the select board mentioned to Father Stan that 2 statues remained on the property.
One of Mary, which damaged beyond use, and this one of the Sacred Heart. And this was halfway up the driveway.
Father Stan decided to rescue both statues and make a memorial from the Sacred Heart statue.
I thought that having this memorial for such an important place, such an important institution, it should not just be forgotten. So this is a way of remembering. I was interviewed for articles in the local press, and on the basis of that, a lot of people that love the Farren responded with monetary donations.
It took nearly 2 years, but Negus and Taylor Monuments refurbished the statue. In February 2025, they hoisted the large granite stone in front of Our Lady of Peace with a crane and attached the Sacred Heart statue on top. An inscription below the statue pays tribute to the Sisters of Providence and all those who worked, volunteered, or received care at Farren. Later, a granite bench was added for people to sit and pray. Moretti & Sons provided the landscaping, which includes plantings and a brick pathway with the engraved names of major contributors.
We got over $30,000 in donations, and we'll probably have something like $7,000 left over, and that I intend to use for the upkeep of the monument.
On October 5th, a special Mass to honor Farren Hospital was celebrated by Springfield Bishop William Byrne. Father Stan introduced the speakers, each of whom represented a different aspect of the life of Farren. David Alt, the great-grandson of Bernard Farren, spoke of his strong faith and love of family. Joan May worked at Farren Memorial for 33 years, beginning as a floor nurse in 1955. She recalled the Sisters of Providence.
I remember that there was one that was in charge of every unit, really, and they were strict, but you had a good experience with them. The staff was really well trained. Well, they were very kind, actually, and caring, and tried to provide the best care possible for people.
Marie Patala volunteered with her high school friends as a candy striper, whose job was
to relieve the nurses a little bit by delivering meals, the mail, flowers, or just being there for the patient to talk to. And we wore this red and white uniform that represents a candy cane. I loved working there. I learned compassion. I learned to help people. It made me feel good.
Patala commented on the sisters.
They opened their doors and their hearts to anyone and everyone.
Emily Veens Johnson proudly spoke of her family's 3 generations of nurses at Farren.
Staff became family to those residents who had none, and trust was built where it had long been broken. That is something rare and precious, and it's what made the Farren so special.
Sister Kathleen Popko reflected on Farren's 120-year history as one of resilience, innovation, and transformation.
Sister Joan Mullen, who spent many years at Farren, the archives kept referring to Farren as this small rural hospital. But you know, she said, we never knew we were small. We believed we did great things in big ways.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
After Mass, a dedication ceremony was held outside. Bishop Byrne was joined by Father Stan, Father Goni, the Sisters of Providence, and parishioners as he blessed the Sacred Heart statue.
It's a beautiful sight. People can stop here to pray, to remember, and in this way, an important chunk of our history is not forgotten.
The Farren Memorial is a constant reminder of the dedication, caring, generosity, and commitment of those who carried on in support of the Farren ministry. For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
Many parishioners at Our Lady of Peace and others from the community are thankful to Father Examet for all of his hard work and dedication in pursuing the Farren Care Memorial and in preserving the legacy of the Sisters of Providence.